Hello all, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. This video is really a conclusion of a lot of videos that have been trying to explain the mechanics behind the invention and basically lead up to mathematical theories that prove the soundness of it. And this is a theory that mankind has been looking for some time, and that is the theory of everything. They know there's four fundamental forces, and through these four fundamental forces, everything works, okay? Well, what I have done in my invention and through my research into mechanics, Newtonian mechanics, I have been able to reveal features that basically show the as below of the theory of everything. In other words, the mechanical part that we use already to create the physical world we live in. For instance, a building or a structure today, we would use Newtonian mechanics, and I'm explaining the theory of everything using Newtonian mechanics. So it is the mechanics we use in our world today. And let me just get right into it. Anyway, the four fundamental forces of nature are what we've been able to determine so far in my previous videos is the leverage of space or linear movement, time, and these are vectors. So we're looking at space or movement, and then this is time. Those are two fundamental forces, and these are both vectors. And then there's gravity and there's mass, okay? Now, we already had looked at these four on a previous video. So why am I saying now there's something, the theory of everything revealed? Well, the thing is these aren't really reduced to their smallest form yet, or the simplest form yet. Gravity and mass haven't been reduced. Because gravity and mass are really just a function of these two here. These are only the two forces right here. And these are basically combinations of these. And that's what we're going to show. So gravity and mass, we set them equal to each other. And gravity is this over this squared. And mass is the same thing, plus this and this multiplied by each other. Okay? And so when we set them equal to each other, what happens is one of the L's, this goes out, this T goes out, and so what that happens, it leaves us with these two equations. And this is gravity and this is mass. So the gravity of mass, gravity drops down to be 1 over T squared. So the inverse squared, which is, if you note, that's the, comes from acceleration. See, that's the acceleration or gravity function. So we can see that gravity is a natural occurring acceleration, and that mass is actually a velocity. It's a function of L over T, which is a velocity. And so basically, let's get into what the four are then. So basically, using what is the theory of everything? It says the theory of everything is a single framework that explains all the fundamental forces of nature. Right now, we have four forces. Gravity, what keeps us on the ground, okay? What keeps us on the ground is a naturally occurring acceleration, on Earth. Okay? The electromagnetism is what makes light and holds atoms together. That's this one right here, number 2. So that's light. In other words, just light moving through linear space, linear movement. That's what light does, and it holds atoms together. So it's basically we'll get to that in a second. So the next one is the strong nuclear force, which holds atomic nuclei together. That's this one, third one. And now we can see that. See, the L is here at the top, and then the T. So basically what happens is mass creates a circular motion, which is mass in a circular motion, And as we know that the angular momentum is the energy from the angular momentum keeps it in continuous operation. So that's what mass is, and that's why it's not a vector. That's why it's a scalar, because all of the energy is kept internal to the system. And then the fourth one, the weak nuclear force, is time, which basically it's the decay of nuclear matter, which time is needed for decay. So anyway, this is how I have placed them from my limited knowledge of this theory of everything. But what I wanted to do by bringing it down to this level, this primitive level, is show that the mechanics of my machine is based on the four primitive forces of nature. There are no other. And as for the accuracy of this, you can see the accuracy if you take this t squared and you put it up here, then what would happen is this t would go away with the squared and it would leave an LT. So basically 1 would equal to LT. So basically unity is a multiplication of the two primary forces of nature. So these forces seem separate, but scientists believe they are all connected, like different branches of the same tree. The theory of everything would show how they all fit together under one set of rules. Well, we can see that this is one set of rules, and that this equation, these two, the front and back of a coin, okay, is used to create mass, okay, and time. One side of the coin is used to create gravity. And so they're all interconnected, and it's all because energy cannot be destroyed. You know, it's energy perpetual in these four basic primitive forms. And this is what we see around us today. I mean, space is our space. Time is, of course, gravity is the force coming down, and mass is everything we see. I mean, this is our world. Anyway, I didn't want this to go too long. I'm at 7 minutes, and I'm gonna look at this and see whether I want to do another one to explain it further, or where I'm going to take this. But my intent is to move forward with a prototype, a prototype that I can do testing on, that will prove, you know, the energy outputs versus the energy in, you know, the energy gains, and so that's where I'm moving toward now. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully y'all see the insightfulness of this and how it basically says we should proceed, no question about it. This is what they call a no-brainer. Thank you.